What up, and welcome to the live episode of Creeps with the Crypt. Well, it's not live for you guys listening or watching, but for other people on locals, it's live. This is the first time we're trying something new. So yes, welcome to episode 33 of Creeps with the Crypt, where we review Tales from the Crypt episodes. I'm your host, John, and this is my co-host.
They're Alan. Welcome back, guys.
That's right. We're back. And we got a good episode to talk about, in my opinion, but especially much better than the last one. To speak about the last one, I think I wasn't in the right mind frame to do the podcast, and then the episode that we were discussing was garbage. It was pretty much just a terrible episode. I feel bad because while watching this episode, I thought about that episode, right? And I said, well, why did we like Corman's Calamity, but we didn't like this one, right? Like, Corman's Calamity is also campy, and I thought about it and I said, I think it's because the actors in Corman's Calamity were comedians, like actual comedians. At least the guy, Harry, whatever, the Night Court guy. He's actual comedian. I know George Wendt is supposedly considered a comedian, but not really. I mean, Norm was just basically him, and they just gave him some funny stuff to say. But yeah, so that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's a good question. It made me think. That's a good point you made. It made me think why those two we liked one over the other. I have to remind myself of that episode again. But I think I don't know. It's just something about it. It worked more for me than it did with the Reluctant Vampire. I just think that they were a little bit too on the nose when it comes to like the references to the folklore, Dracula, and then they had Van Helsing there. And I don't know. It's just the Corman's Calamity just hit different for some reason. I think just because it referenced, I think it did reference the creators of EC Comics and Tales from the Crypt. I think there was a little bit more love and care given to like the references. They weren't just kind of there just to make you chuckle. I don't know. It's just that's what I would take away from it, from what I recall, on Corman's Calamity.
By the way, if you notice, our backgrounds are fixed, right? They don't look like garbage like they normally do. So that's a plus. I'm really excited about that. This chair's kind of big. So maybe I might shrink it.
I'm actually planning on getting a new chair on Monday, so I'm hoping it lasts me a while, because this one I've had for, I think, 2 years now. It's just not comfy anymore. My ass hurts on it after a good hour, so...
Well,
we'll be good. I think I'll be good after that, so I'm gonna set up a new one.
Mine actually.
But yeah, we got our green screens here, so it's a little bit more smoother now.
Yeah, we were using whatever that other thing was before. And now I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I actually went, surprisingly, I was just gonna do it with the old way, like I did last week, but I went to my storage unit and I was going through it and I'm like, oh, I gotta throw out so much shit. And at the same time, I'm like, I was looking through stuff and I saw my green screen, the sheet that I used to use. So I was like, oh, let me take it. It works so much better on this than when, like, if you look at my Ghost Crusaders, the paranormal stuff, there were segments where I used it, especially one where, anyway, it looks maybe, because I don't think I used all the lights I'm using now, because the background has to be pretty bright, I think. And the last time I was just using 1 or 2 lights. Now I'm using like 3. But like the green screen came out great. So that's a huge positive. But anyway, We're here to discuss season 3, episode 8 of Tales from the Crypt, titled EASEL Kill Ya. Now, before Alan tells you what the synopsis of the episode is, and we'll talk about it a little bit before we get into talking about it a lot. We'll talk about it briefly. He's going to give you a brief synopsis, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about in general. Let's talk about when it was aired. It aired on July 17, 1991. So, and it stars, I will say the star first. It stars Tim Roth. It was directed by John Harrison, who directed nothing after this but TV stuff. I think he had one movie, which was a Clive Barker film, but everything else was television. TV movies, and TV series. I think he's doing Creepshow. Oh no, I don't know if it's him. Anyway, and it was written by Larry Wilson. Yeah, it is him. John Harrison's he did like 8 episodes of Creep Show recently. And it was written by Larry Wilson. Larry Wilson wrote Addams Family, and he also came up with the story for Beetlejuice. So that was interesting. I was like, oh, wow. So that's cool. And it stars Tim Roth and some other girl named Roya Megnot. She's hot. that's what she's hot. I was like,
I'll talk about her later.
I was like, damn. Oh, she's gorgeous, and she's on this guy. Like she's really like, she likes him. So, but why don't you? Yeah. So it aired on 1991, and I want to say when I was watching this, I had visions of an episode of Freddy's Nightmares. There's a similar episode. This was like a thing in the 90s. But why don't you tell us what the synopsis of this episode is, and then we could talk more about it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, EASEL Kill Ya is the episode we're going to be talking about, starring Tim Roth. He's kind of like a struggling painter that's trying to kind of find ends meet. He hasn't really been able to sell any of his paintings, and just kind of lost for motivation and inspiration, really, to kind of find something that's gonna, get him in more into that art world. So that's kind of like what the story is about mainly, and he starts kind of going down a more sinister path in order for him to kind of make something that's gonna appeal to what his goals are. So he kind of, I don't know how much you want me to delve into it, but that's kind of like the synopsis of what starts off this episode, at least, is what we gathered in the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's what the episode's about. It's a painter, but this is before
Reservoir
Dogs. Yeah, a year before, and I never liked his performance in Reservoir Dogs. I actually do like his performance in Pulp Fiction in the beginning because it's very brief, and in the end, I think he was good in those the opening and ending, the book, whatever. But in Reservoir Dogs, I hated. I didn't hate. I can't say hate. I just really disliked him. I thought he was terrible. He has an accent. You can hear the accent when he tries to speak like he's American. You could just hear it, especially in Reservoir Dogs. He has a whole scene where he's telling a whole story about what happens to him, and that he has to memorize this. It was ridiculous, but in the same sense, it kind of works for the film. And he's like, there's this fucking dog. And I walk into the bathroom with these 5 cops and then this fucking German Shepherd. And I was like, and he did it. Tarantino's amazing. I think, he steals things from other films, but I never liked Tim Roth's acting. And in this, I'm starting not to like his acting in the beginning. I was watching him, and I was like, ugh, like, nah, like, it's just, he has this underbite. Reminds me of my dog. My dog had an underbite. Actually, I do like Tim Roth in The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. I thought he was good in that, surprisingly. Even though I think he was supposed to be a Green Beret in that, yeah. So I liked him in that. And then all of a sudden, something happens along this episode where it turns. And I think it's probably the scene that's the biggest scene. But in general, the episode starts out, he's a struggling painter who's just come off the mend, or he's in recovery, Alcoholics Anonymous, right? So he has that, I guess as a woman, I forgot what they're called, his agent, manager. She tries to book him art shows, tries to see if he could sell his artwork, things like that. And in the 90s, this was a big thing because a lot of TV shows always have a struggling artist in it, and they always live in this beautiful loft. So he's talking to this woman, and she basically tells him,
Jack, maybe you should go back to drinking. Your work had more passion.
Yeah, she was insinuating, he made better stuff when he was drinking, and what he was painting wasn't exciting for her and everything. And that was a pretty cool scene that he was kind of like almost daydreaming, but you see him just take a hammer to her head and just start, watching her die, and then he just kind of snaps out of it. So that was kind of cool. That little scene there that they have. It kind of continues later on. He has those kind of daydreams almost.
Yeah,
I found it kind of interesting because he mentioned that he hadn't slept for a while in order to start, working on these paintings to show this this I guess painting or museum chick. I don't know what she's cultivates art, I guess, for display. But yeah, I think maybe that's part of his performance. I wanted to bring up that maybe that was part of his performance. Why it didn't seem like it was that great. But I think maybe it's just because of his lack of sleep.
Oh,
At least that's what it was insinuated was.
I don't know. It was mostly, yeah. It was. It wasn't. I don't know. It was. I don't know, something about it in the beginning when he doesn't. It's not much. It's just him talking to people, and it's not just his. It's not really his acting. And in the beginning, when I was complaining, it's more like his stares. Like he would talk to her right when they got off AA because he told the story, and then so Alan brought up the daydream. The daydream is after she tells him, like, why don't you start drinking again or whatever, that he could do something with it. Then all of a sudden, like, he grabs a hammer and he bashes her over the head with it. And then you see that he's actually in AA telling the story. And he's like, I should have really done it. You know, like, I didn't do it, but I should have done it. Which gets you a sense of where he is mentally. Which is good writing, actually. It lets you know, like, okay, he's already got problems. We know right away, exposition, right away. Artist struggling, can't get paintings show, can't get a show put together by his manager, struggling, hates where he lives, and then besides that, he has dark thoughts because he thought about killing his manager. So he walks out. I guess you're right, but at the beginning when I first saw it, I was like, ugh, Tim Roth. Ugh. But he doesn't. I don't hear the accent here in this episode. So
I didn't notice it, nor did it really bug me as much. At least, what was odd about at least the last one we watched with the Malcolm McDowell, I mean, he didn't really try to hide his accent, even though he's like in America. It was like, what? Nobody questioned why this British guy was doing security.
Well, I mean, it's America. There's a bunch of people there, but I mean, plus he also supposedly just came. They said in the episode, they said that the Van Helsing character from the guy from The Hills Have Eyes, he says, look, they just came from Transylvania he just came like a few months ago. So he needs the soil, whatever the hell. That was such a bad episode. I mean, because it was all over the place. You had actors that were trying to act serious, like George Wendt. Then you had her acting ridiculous. Then you had Malcolm McDowell taking it like a joke because that's what he's doing. And then you had the Van Helsing guy acting ridiculous. And then you have the other guy that's from The Breakfast Club and all these other films, and he's being a serious asshole detective. Like, so you have all these mixtures, and they're trying to make something out of this, and it's just like, no. But yeah. So Tim Roth goes out, and he starts. She's flirting with him. She's on his balls like hardcore. What's her name? Sharon, or whatever. So she's on him. She likes him, and
yeah, just one of the fellow, I think people in AA too, right? I don't know. I think a sponsor or just someone that's also there for that same reason, right?
I don't know what she was.
That's what I gathered from it.
I don't think she was a sponsor, or no. I just think she really liked him because sponsors, they. I mean, I guess they do talk to you, but I can't really talk about. I mean, technically, I did go to 2 AA meetings or 3. Not for me. I just did it on my own, and it managed to work pretty much until I went to New Orleans, and I drank, but I haven't drank since. So I don't know.
Well, whatever she is, she was there in the AA meeting when he was spilling his guts about how he was considering, in his head, I guess, killing that chick that he was showing his paintings to, you know, in hopes for them to get shown and hopefully make some money off of the paintings. Like you said, yeah, the paintings aren't that great, but yeah, the girl is very much into him, and she asked him to paint a portrait of her. You know, it's kind of like giving them an excuse to be together, and you know, give him some little money for the commission. But yeah, they have this whole conversation about, you know, his work and all that.
But also, there was a scene where he's painting her, and she's like flirting with him, right? He's like, ugh, it's not working, right? Because she like pulls her dress up, like she's on him. And then he's like, you want to get a drink? You want a drink? And then he walks away, and she's like, oh my God, he's gonna drink. He wants alcohol, you know? Because so that means like he's really dark all the time, you know? Like, because if she's already thinking that he's gonna go, like he comes back with water. He's like, tap water, you know? Like, And she's like, oh, she got nervous. All right. So he's just like, so basically he's a really dark fuck. So he sits down, they're talking, whatever. And then I think there's drilling and stuff happening in the background. And he goes, I hate this apartment. And then she goes, well, why did you pick it? And he's like, I don't know, or whatever. And then she says something, she kisses him on the cheek. I'll be back next week. He's like, why? She goes, to finish my painting. So he's like, oh, okay. So she leaves, tomorrow or something. So all of a sudden, it's later that night. He's trying to paint this piece of crap that's just red blobs. It's like garbage. And there's some guy playing loud music. And he goes out and he starts screaming at the guy. Which I guess that's why they put the scene where he hits a woman with the hammer, so you know that he's full of darkness and rage and whatever. So he's just screaming at this guy.
He's got something in him that it makes him capable of murder. Yeah.
But he didn't technically murder, so he screams at the guys to lower the music. The guy's sitting on the fire escape, which is you get a ticket for doing that. Actually, the landlord would get a ticket. They wouldn't give the guy a ticket, which is bullshit. So the guy goes back in, raises the volume, comes out and starts like teasing him or whatever, or like taunting him. So he's like weird positioning why he would go to the edge, like he was going to do something. Like the position he went to was not the way if you were going to go down and do something, you go straight down. And he went to like the edge and accidentally knocks over this vase and hits the guy in the head. He falls off and he dies. And then he just looks at him and he gets something out of it. Like he's like, oh, like he got a boner or something because he was just like, So he starts taking pictures, Polaroid pictures. And he goes in and he paints something good, something different, not just square boxes of different colors. And then
abstract shit that he was doing earlier.
And then he sees, after he's done, you see it. It looks interesting enough. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, art now, I mean, everything's been done. I honestly think like there's nothing else you can do. Like, I don't know. Everyone went crazy for Banksy stuff, and I look at it and go, I don't know. Like I said to you before.
There's different types. Yeah, there's different types. I mean, depends what you're into, There's the, like we said, the abstract, or just something like what's his name? The guy with the tomato can soup, or there's also, I like more of the oil painting or more of the European art. That's the kind of art I like.
I liked MC Escher. That's kind of art. Like, it has to be something with, like, okay, I have a collection of Marvel cards, right? And they were actually done by artists. Like, Alex Ross. To me, that's an artist. That's an actual artist.
Oh, yeah.
And even the comics, the cards I have, that if you look at them, there's Marvel 92, I think, or Masterpieces, I think they're called. Beautiful. They were paintings that they put into cards to collect. So they're gorgeous. MC Escher, when I was younger, I was a little bit more into art. The other guy, Pollock. They did a movie about him with, actually, no, I didn't. I thought he was an asshole. Yeah, Pollock. I think I don't know. The guy Ed Harris played in a movie. And it's just like, but just like he took the paint, just throws it all over the thing as art. It's the same thing Jim Carrey does. Jim Carrey is considered an artist now, and you look at his paintings and people want to buy them. It's just like, what the fuck? It's just like bullshit. I told you when I was younger, or I didn't say it here, maybe I did. No, I may have said it in the review I did. When I was younger, I was in art class, and my teacher used to hate me and love me because she said, you have so much talent, yet you want to be the class clown, right? And so I was like, So there was a project. This is serious. I'm not even joking. There was a class project, final grade. You had to do something. You get it graded, and then you could also be in the art show. I said, okay. I already knew what I was going to do. So I said, okay. Because I knew art bullshit in my mind. So I go, okay, I'm going to take a watch. I'm going to break the glass. I'm going to put it in cement, and I'm going to call it Frozen in Time. So I went to do it. I broke the glass, but I fucked it up. I just wanted a crack on the glass, but I broke the whole thing. So I was like, so I started smashing it more, making it more fucked up. And then my dad's like, what did you do that for? You should have told me. I would have done it for you. I was like, And he said, what do you want me to do? I said, just put it in cement in a box, a small box. So he goes, just this? I go, yeah. So he did it, put it in the box, took it to class, and the teacher was like, amazed. She was like, this was like the greatest thing in the world. So fantastic, so amazing. A+. I didn't have to work for the rest of the year. I didn't go to the art show. She put it in the art show. She only picked a few people to be in the art show. And it was a big deal. And she's like, come bring your parents. And, I want to, this is a real, and I didn't go. I didn't go. I didn't care. And then she was like, why did you come? Well, I was like, listen, it took me 2 minutes to think about this. And I was a slacker in high school. And this wasn't even high school. This was middle school. So for me, art's garbage. But he did draw, whoever drew that is a good, compared to the abstract garbage he was doing. So he sees a little magazine. This famous guy buys morbid shit, tries to sell it to him.
Yeah, the stuff is decent. I mean, the art that they use is decent. I'm surprised it didn't go more of a darker look to it, like more in the line of like I don't know if you ever seen Francis Bacon's art. It's almost like, I'm surprised it didn't go that route with some of the art there. But yeah, like you said, he finds a guy that's really into. I mean, the themes of the art he collects is just death. Seeing the death, because it's in his mansion that Tim Roth goes to see him at. It's just a bunch of blown up pictures of people dead. Looks like from war or whatever. So he's just he gets off on it, I guess. I don't know, but he's got a lot of money and offers to pay him some money for that art that he did of that guy that fell up the stairs there.
Yeah. And then
and more or less, that's kind of what happened there. I don't know if there's anything else I missed there, but
no, that's the guy. He says
we'll continue from there.
He says he has like a collection that he can't even have upstairs, and upstairs in his living room is like the Holocaust, all these people that died in the Holocaust that he spent a lot of money on. Some, not all of them, but a lot of them. So which just look like pictures, not paintings. But so then but he said downstairs he has shit you don't even want to know. I'm thinking like. It's like Hellraiser. I'm thinking in my mind makes me, and that guy is
some Hellraiser shit, I guess.
That guy was played by William Atherton, and he's been in he's the fucking William Peck. He's William Peck from Ghostbusters.
Everything was fine with our system until the power grid was shut off by Dickless here.
They caused an explosion.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
So yeah, that was him, and he's been in so many things. He was in Real Geniuses, Ghostbusters, everything. He's been working forever. He's a great actor, fantastic actor. So he tells them basically like, oh yeah. So I'm thinking the stuff he has downstairs is like Hellraiser type stuff, where it's like the canvas is probably like skin or like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like you know what I mean, like really fucking freaky shit. So it
would have been cool if they showed something like that. At least give us a glimpse. So I think they could have gone in a more interesting route. But I guess just leaving it to the imaginations is as much as they could do at this one.
Yeah. Or if Tim Roth,
maybe they didn't want to commission like the work to make some sort of like dark ass art.
Or if Tim Roth would have done, yeah, that's true. But they couldn't. They didn't need to do. They could have anybody there do. But or Tim Roth was the one that did something like that. Like the next art was like that. The disgusting. Like he took skin. Like he skinned the person. I mean, if they remake it, look, if they do a new Tales from the Crypt like we talked about, and they do new episodes or new let's say new episodes based on the comics, actual old comics, and they did remake some episodes, right? Because I think you can remake some of them. The ones that suck or that we think suck, they could remake them into better ones. This one's one that they could do, even though this one I think it's solid. So, but this one's that they could do, and they could do it a little bit more interesting. But it's good. This is a good one. But anyway, so he leaves. He goes home. He can't paint. Like he can't paint. Like the death of killing that person or that person accidentally dying. He didn't really murder him. I don't know what he does with the body too, because no cops knock on his door. Nothing comes of this. Right. So I don't know what happened. The guy's just laying out there still.
They just marked it as an accident, I guess, at this point. Just based on the interaction we'll get into that he has with his neighbor or also landlord.
Yes, go ahead.
So
that's the part.
Yeah, so that's the part. Like he goes back to his apartment to make another painting. It's just another bullshit abstract one. He starts like seeing that girl Sharon, her name is, right? Mm-hmm. So she's like there's a cool effect they had on here when she was just like posing for him, looking all sexy in white, in like a white evening gown, and she just vanishes on the seat that she was sitting on when she was making that he was making that portrait for her, and then he's just like, this shit sucks, and just throws the painting and looks at an empty bottle of booze, and goes downstairs and runs into his landlord there, and they were talking about the neighbor that died. And
I mean, you can imagine, huh? Old lady like me, I gotta lug this crap down those slippery stairs.
Want some help?
yeah, he just ends up pushing her down the stairs because he was gonna help her move some of the shit out from that guy that died, and just took another few photos of her because she landed on like a pair of lawn scissors, I think it was.
Shears.
Those shears scissors, yeah, they cut the grass with, you know.
Yeah, and then or like a pitchfork. Yeah, probably shears, or like a pitchfork or something. I don't know, but I know they were pointing. He's like, oh, takes the pictures. No, well, he goes to take pictures, and she frightens him. And then he's got blood all over himself. And I'm like, surely the cops are going to come now. The landlord died and the neighbor
Right?
died. He's suspect number one. You know, this place is being rented by somebody else, isn't it?
Seems like that's the only people that were living in that building.
And then he goes home and he paints. I was like, if the cops came, they were like,
And saw this painting.
the painting is a painting of shears, and then like it looks weird. It's interesting, but weird looking. I would never buy this. I don't know. Not my. That's just like, and it's painted with real blood because he scooped out her blood to use for the paint. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so he falls. He had a beautiful night's sleep, and the sexy girl comes, and Sharon, and she wants like she's like, oh, I'm horny. Can't you get the hint, buddy? Like, I've been trying to bang you forever. I hope my portrait's done. He's like, no, you're not like inspirational to me, unless you.
So yeah, you're just giving me this pity work because he's not getting the hint, I guess. She wants to bang him.
Exactly. He thinks it's because she feels sorry for him. So he's like, he's not every hint she's giving him, he's just not getting it. And hey, ladies, it happens. If you're a fan of this show and you're like, guys aren't this dumb, yes, we are. Because trust me, well, at least for me, I'm this dumb because this happened to me several times. Recently,
Oh yeah, you brought that up. I remember.
yeah, but recently it happened, and I know, and I'm like, damn it, I can't. It's a long story, and I'm gonna talk about it here. But I was like,
Yeah, she was about ready to just bend over that chair, and I think that you might have gotten the hint at that point. But yeah, they have a talking out about it. You know, he's being moody and all that. She don't know that this guy's already delved down the dark path of just starting to kill people and using that incident to inspire him to draw something gruesome for this fucking rich weirdo here. So they started making out, and hey, we get like the patented Tales from the Crypt sex scene. You know, we haven't had one of those in a while where we actually see some ass there, see some tits.
I know.
Ooh.
I
don't know if that was her, but she got a great ass on that
No,
one.
it was her. That was her.
That's a good shot right there.
Let me see. What does she do? I'm in love with her. What has she done? Nothing. MacGyver. One episode.
Don't
of
look it up. I think she died in 2009. So.
Oh my
spoilers on
God!
that
Why
one.
she die so young? What the?
I didn't know she was sick.
She's beautiful. Sybil, the gypsy fortune teller. I'm just see she's in Quantum Leap. What? Leaping without a net?
Ever noticed before how many times you've been reincarnated?
I don't believe in reincarnation.
You would if you could see all the souls I see in your eyes.
That episode of Quantum Leap, they had a hot girl who was in the other art episode. Actually, that's hilarious. So they're both in an episode of Quantum Leap. The girl, I forgot her name. She was in, not Hot Shots. She was in Summer School. I don't know her name. She's Italian. She's an Italian actress. She was in Quantum Leap, the same episode. I'll tell you right now because I can click on it and see.
Yeah, tell me.
What's her name? Her name was Fabiana Udieno. Udieno.
Art, this is Alex.
Fabiana's husband. It's nice to meet you, Arthur.
Just Art. That's my whole name. First, middle, and last. Just Art. You see, I'm the answer to this question.
Yeah, Art's getting quite a following.
Yeah, I see.
She She was in the episode of Nightmare on Elm Street, the art episode, where she's with an artist who's struggling too, and then he starts doing something similar to this, where he accidentally kills somebody, and then they start selling the. I don't know how. I don't remember why it got better because he died and he had all this art. Oh, that's why he faked his death, and then they were like, "Oh, all his art would be worth more money." I don't know. It was stupid. Anyway, so she was in that. They were in that episode currently together. She's gorgeous. This girl's gorgeous, but Fabiana was also hot. But yeah, so they're having sex, and he starts hearing her say something else. What is she like? He thinks she's saying something like, "Oh no!" She turns into him. She turns into Abernathy, the other guy. She turns into the artist. I mean, the buyer. What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what she was trying to get out of that. She said something. She says, "Give it, Jack. Don't hold back." I don't know if that meant one thing, not the other.
This would be fuck me hard. Don't hold back. Fuck me, motherfucker. I want it.
And then he flips her over. He's on top of her. It's about to look like he's about to smash her head with a clock.
Yeah.
And then you see the rich guys he's selling the paintings to, like his face is like when he's on top of
when he's on top
of her.
He was like, "Oh," that was fucking freaky. Actually, I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
oh," because I had my. No, I'm just kidding. I was really into this episode, especially that part.
He was really into it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I saw that. No, Mayflower, no.
He came at the wrong time.
Yeah, I was like, no. It's ruined my whole night now. I'm just fucking around. But anyway, so he went to hit him, and then she's like, she still wants this guy, bro. The girls are like this. They want problems.
She's freaky. Yeah,
they want someone that's a problem.
She wanted him to slap him around, though, but not to get smashed in the head with an alarm clock.
My ass. Smack it, Jack. Harder. No, but then, so he leaves her there. She was probably like, ugh.
So,
I hope he has a fight.
Yeah, she said, I got some business to take care of. Just stay right here. I'll be right back.
Yeah. He goes
so
to
you're
sell.
all naked, looking good.
Then he goes to the guy he was dreaming about. He thought he saw it, the Mayflower, and he brings him the artwork. And then he's like, "I'm done after this." That's a little bit of the accent there comes out. No, you don't understand. I'm done after this. This is not good. I can't do it anymore. Yes, you can, Jack. You can, and I'll pay you. Oh yeah, because by the way, Jack wanted like $200 for that fucking painting. So stupid.
The guy's gonna offer him like $100K for the next one, I think.
Yeah, and which is crazy because we were watching something. We didn't get to talk much in the beginning of this episode. I was watching Tales from the Crypt with my uncle yesterday because it was his birthday. It was his birthday.
Yeah.
So I got him to watch it the last time he showed up here. I was talking about this episode, the one with that you get Creeps of the Crypt, the Christmas one. So I was showing him that one, the shirt. He's like, "Oh, this is so cool." But he never saw it, so I showed him the episode. So he's like, "Oh, can I watch this on YouTube when I'm at work?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he found it. He's like, "Oh, I wanted to watch the third episode, the third episode, but it started halfway through." So, but yeah, so we watched a few episodes together. So he's really into it. But why did I bring up him about this for? Oh, because of money. It was the episode of the girl. She got $10,000. It was Only Sin Deep. So she's got $10,000 for the makeup, and then she was buying all this stuff. So we laughed, and I'm like, "Oh, she got all that stuff." And then I'm like, "Wait a second, let me see." So I asked on the internet, how much was $10,000 in 1989 worth today? It's 25 grand. So no wonder she was buying all these clothes and everything. I'm like, yeah, she got 25,000 worth. $10,000 was worth 25 grand today. So yeah. So I was like, wow, Jesus. So yeah, that's why I brought that up. So 200,000, gee, that's like, this guy was a bum almost. Like living, he's basically a bum. He's got no food. He's got tap water. He's got a bottle of water in his house. So he goes, and Abernathy's like, "I'm gonna pay you, whatever." So he's like, oh, but he likes it too. And then she's still there waiting for him. She waited this whole goddamn time. This girl really wants Jack. And then she starts looking now. So I guess she's starving. And she comes across the bloody paintbrush and the jar. And then the Polaroids. And I knew it. I knew it when I was watching it because I haven't seen this in so long.
That part was good. That part was like, I could I don't know. It was shot really well, and the way she acted in it was really convincing. It just seems like that. Like you said, if this was remade again, this would be really a cool scene to include.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, oh shit, this guy's a serial killer.
She's hot.
So from her perspective, it's like, oh shit, this guy's nuts.
Yeah. I was like, she's hot. And I'm like, oh, she's
Which in a way he kind of is, but he kind of delved too deep into the darkness.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To get inspired.
But she got scared. She ran out of the house in her 90s mom jeans.
Jean jacket and pants.
Jeans.
Mom jeans. Yeah.
And then
she looked good in them though.
And then she gets hit by a car. Which it was like that the way it was shot was like a Nightmare on Elm Street, because there's an episode with Brad Pitt on Freddy's Nightmares where he's like, ah! He like walks in the street.
She gets hit by a taxi, and did he even stop? He just kept going.
It kept going. I mean, this world, in this reality, they dead bodies everywhere. I don't think the cops. The only people the cops care about are coming up. That's the only people, rich people, because they don't care about the landlord. She's nobody. I'm like, yeah, fuck her. We don't care. Anyway, so he takes her to the hospital. He starts going crazy. The accent's coming out more and more. And no offense. And I just don't like Tim Roth, young Tim Roth. I think he was great, and also The Hateful Eight. I thought he was great in The Hateful Eight. I was very surprised.
I was gonna say, like, he was pretty good in that one, from what I remember.
But that was definitely meant for somebody else. That was meant for what's his name? Christoph Waltz? Is that his name? Yeah. That's who it was meant for sure. And he's probably like, I don't want to do another Tarantino film. But it wasn't meant for Tim Roth. But anyway, so they tell him you need $13,000 or $10,000. I think it's $10,000 also. You need $10,000. It's very expensive, sir. $100,000, some shit, some big money, right? Big money.
Yeah.
There's only one doctor that could do this because she has a brain something, and then he's the only one that could do the surgery. And so he's like, do the surgery. I'm gonna go get the money. So, because she didn't have insurance. So then he leaves and he sees a guy walking and he's like, I need artwork to get paid. I need something to give the Mayflower in order to get money.
Let me ask you, I know this is like a little tidbit there, but wouldn't they still go through with the surgery regardless if she had money? I don't
think so.
Isn't that what normally would happen, or no?
No. You die, I think. They wouldn't go through with it. It's like if you have a heart attack, they would say you don't have insurance, your insurance is not going to pay for it, you're fucked. I mean, I don't know. If you're dying, I think they would have to.
I think they would.
No, they
I mean,
wouldn't.
I know this is just kind of written for the sake of the episode to lead to what he ends up doing after he finds out about this. So I was just thinking out loud. Yeah, I mean, normally, I think they would make every effort to do what they can to save you.
I don't know.
And whatever it ends up costing, you're fucked if you don't got insurance. So might as well be dead.
Maybe. Yeah.
So. No, yeah, after that, he sees a guy with a suitcase and he kills a guy in the parking lot and then uses his blood on some sort of like some cardboard that he found nearby that some bum left or something, and then he just paid some shit on it with some real blood on it. So I think there's a piece of some flesh on there. And he goes back to that rich guy like the middle of the night to sell this shit.
And Mayflower is there like this. You made me very happy.
With a big boner.
You made me very happy looking at this cardboard. He's like, oh. I mean, God, bro, you could have got this. You could have went to the hospital. I went to the hospital one time, emergency room. I forgot what floor. It was my girlfriend at the time. Something happened. When I walked past a room, there was blood all over the floor. I'm like, bro, you could have just came with a cardboard and put it right there. Here, art. Like, here.
True. You didn't have to actually kill somebody.
Mayflower would be like, ugh. Yes, I love it. I'm gonna frame this over my bed. Yeah, so Mayflower gives him the money, and then he goes to the hospital, and then that's where the twist happens. Actually, no, there's another twist but the twist is, I wish we could do the surgery, but she's already dead because the doctor that was supposed to come, somebody killed him in the street, in the parking lot on the way over here, and he's like, yeah, right. I don't know if they did actually like they should have done that angle, like I don't know what it's called. Where the background goes either it's the background. It's a zoom effect. Like you could be rolling forward and zooming out. So this way, the back it does this visual effect. It was
Yeah,
done in
something like
Jaws.
Sam Raimi would do, like that background.
But it was
thing.
done in. It was
reminds
really,
me of that's.
it done in Jaws. In Jaws, where he's sitting at the. I think that's the first time it was done, where he's sitting at the beach, and then they go shark, and then he looks, and then it pulls in close to him, but the background gets wider. So that's what I think. I don't know if they use that scene. That's what they should have, because when he realizes, Romero used it in Creep Show also, and then they go, she's dead, and then it was like, oh, and then he's sitting there, and then all of a sudden the cops are looking at him, and then he's there looking at her. She died. And the cop, because like I guess he fell in love with her, I don't know when. So the cops show up. They go, Mr. Whatever, I hear you're an artist. He shows the fucking paintbrush,
bloodstained paintbrush,
with his fingerprints all over. And then he turns and he looks at her again. And then that was a cool effect where the shades are closed on his eyes.
They closed the shades. Yeah, that was a cool. That's a cool little effect there that they did in the episode. I won't. I mean, this goes to show, like, compared to the last one, that they put more thought into how they wanted at least frame things and direct things, because they did that kind of like that interesting shot where the rich guy's face was zoomed in, and then you said Tim Roth in the background. At the same time, it's like that angle, that perspective there. I mean, this guy at least knew what he was doing. I don't know. I forgot who the guy that directed the last one did, but it was just so basic, run by the numbers. So at least this one, they had some creativity behind it.
Oh yeah, and it was a good writer.
Directing wise,
it made sense too. Okay, so that ends like that. That's the end of the episode. Then the Crypt Keeper comes and he says he's painting something, which is, I like that kind of painting. Whatever the Crypt Keeper's painting, that is like Pollock. I think his name's Pollock.
And he's got he's painting with a bloody fingertip.
And then he goes, some people like, he says, some people like oil paints. Other people like this paints. He goes, I like finger paints. And then he starts laughing. I was like, okay. All right, you stupid. That was a good one.
That was a good one to end off. I don't know if you wanted to get into it.
Yes,
I don't know if you got the chance to read the comic. Yeah. I actually preferred the comic more than this episode, to be honest.
I actually... I like the comic, but I don't like the comic more than the episode.
I mean, that's fair. I think they're both slightly different enough to stand on their own. I think I just preferred reading the comic, and it would be cool that if they did redo this. Like I said, I'm kind of against it at this point. Just the way that media is right now. I just don't think they'd do it justice to the Tales from the Crypt spin-off, like a remake show, if they ever do it. But I like the comic a lot more, because you start off with him kind of being the same aspect, a struggling artist that's just is lost for inspiration, and just seems like he's not respected amongst his peers, and it almost ended up with him just jumping off a bridge almost, and then you see a car accident happens, and then you see someone die, and he gets inspired to draw these things, and it evidently kind of starts and ends the similar way, but there's a few things there. You get a little bit more. You get more of a sense that he actually ended up falling in love with the girl in this episode.
That's what in the comic.
I mean, in this comic, actually compared to the episode.
That's the one thing I wanted to say, is that in this comic, I was gonna say, I want to write this down, because I'm sending this to some bitch. I'm sending this to some girl one day, because this is like beautiful. Perhaps this is like a girl would I want exactly how she acted is perhaps it's merely that, because it's a great. It's so, oh my god, it's wonderful. This whole thing, so he's just a miserable though. So I guess that's why I like the episode more than the comic. I'll tell you why. I like it. It came out. It's pretty much the same ending. Pretty much, except the ending here is better too, in my opinion. I think the ending they did here works better, but in general, the comic is good. I enjoyed it actually, and I was thinking about the comic you showed me that they just came out. EC Comics came out with a new comic, right? And it's so short. Whatever. This is
it's not as good as just this issue alone is oh man, I'd rather just reread the old shit, because what they came out with recently, and we talked about it a little bit. I mean, there's I guess EC Comics is back, and I don't know if they've been back for a while, but they're relaunching a new series, right? So it's rather than taint the good series of Tales from the Crypt and just keep going with that. They call it Epitaphs from the Abyss, and I mean, I read it. I actually picked up the physical copy of it and went to the comic book store and everything. I was really interested in seeing what they would do, but it was just not up to snuff or up to par what we just read today. I mean, this is way better than any of the stories I was telling you about, because you don't really get a sense of the person or the character that makes you at all interested to see the conclusion of it. It's just almost like you just walked in the middle of an episode, like you missed like the first 10 minutes, right? So that's what it felt like to me with the writing. It just doesn't seem that they got a good sense of why these comics were good in the first place. I mean, I'll give it another chance, and I know there's another issue coming out, number 2, in August, so I'll give it another shot, but I don't have much high hopes for it. But this one, the comic, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
And because the guy actually had something to live for, and then at the same time, I thought he was gonna fall into the same trap of this darkness that he was having with just witnessing death and also committing murder and then confessing everything to this chick, and then he doesn't see her for like a while. I forgot how long it was, and he's like, oh, did you just lie to me and leave me? And then all of a sudden, and then he finds out, yeah, she got like in a car accident, and and then you see one panel where he actually kills the doctor, and then he goes to
the guy
he goes to sell his painting to the guy, but he would refuse to pay what they were what he needed. I think he only needed $3,000 for the job, for the actual surgeon.
Yeah. It was 1950s, and then he goes back, and they don't have he goes back and they don't have the they just sits. There's no cop. So, but I will say, whatever they changed here, they made it better, because in the beginning this guy wants to kill himself, and there's no real explanation besides the fact that he's miserable and he's a failing artist. The writer did a great job in making it okay. He's already tormented. He's an alcoholic, recovering alcoholic. Now he can't work. Like he did his best work, like we get told in the beginning, when he was drunk, when he was alcoholic. That's when he did good work. Now he got additional. Like now he can't go back to that substance because it's not good for him, right? He probably got in a lot of trouble before, but that was the only way. He's creatively dead. Like he's just gone. So I like that they added that.
I could see that. I mean, they're both accomplish the same thing. It's just the episode is tweaked in a way to be slightly different.
But the love story is better.
But otherwise,
in the comic, even though
otherwise the love story is better in the comic.
It comes at the end too. In the comic, he's enjoying. He's like, I can't get. I love this. I love killing people. He like waits, and he attacks somebody, and then he didn't even paint. I think he attacked some woman, and he didn't get to paint. He woke up the next day. He's like, shit, that just really beat up a woman, and I didn't paint. Like I just did it because I liked the feeling. So
that part I dug, I guess, because he at least had some remorse for what he was doing. I guess Tim Roth did too a little bit, but I don't know. Both do the same idea, but I think just told differently.
Yeah, they're both good. I like the comic.
Both solid. Yeah,
I think
solid adaptation.
I like the differences of the episode. I think they work better for the episode, so that's what I'm saying. The comic was good, but it's just like, they gave him more substance, and even though they gave a lot more substance to a guy who barely acts, and like I feel like Tim Roth is barely acting in this episode, but it works. So that's all I can say about that. I like this episode. I like the comic. So if I had to rate this, this is gonna be kind of high because I don't have.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to come up with a rating. And I'm thinking about it. I wasn't even thinking about the rating until now when we were talking about it.
I guess I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Because I can't go 5 out of 5. And I'll give it a 4 out of 5 because of the girl. She's like not developed well, like in the comic. Her love for him is not, and he has no emotion. And at the end, all of a sudden he has emotion for her out of nowhere. It doesn't work, So
yeah,
that's why I'll say this. They could have done it that in the way that the comic does it, like. She gets hit by a car. It wasn't his fault. See, it made it so much that it was his fault so much. It would have been fine if she was like, if he did the speech and he's like, I love you. The comic works great because he realizes that he's an evil person and he doesn't want to be like this anymore. and then he has to sell. Like he has to kill somebody to get the money for her, right? So they should have done that ending. So that's why, actually, yeah, that's why I'll say that the comic's a little bit better because the ending works better. The whole beginning works good, but there's no real chemistry between the two. She's into him, she's into him, but they made it that everything was his fault, that he was such a bad person because she sees the pictures, she runs out, she gets hit by a car because she's scared of him. He takes her to the hospital, and blah, 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 blah. So, but it's still
that
works.
part in and of itself works better in the episode.
And then
than it does in the comic.
At the end, he killed the doctor, couldn't save her, she dies, and then the cops are like, "Hey, buddy," like it's like a double whammy, triple whammy. So yeah, I'll say 4 out of 5. I like the episode, but it's not perfect because those two don't really have that good chemistry, to be honest. And there was no love story there for him. Like, she's dead. Fuck it. You weren't in love with her. You never showed that you were in love with her. So just fucking use her blood and paint it. The guy left. Just make some more money. Continue on, you know?
True. Yeah, given everything that was there, I mean, compared to the last episode and just there's a lot more here to sink your teeth in, and the idea of the painter turning into a killer and in the beginning inspired by death, and just this weird subculture of this rich guy wanting to offer him a lot of money just to paint the morbid shit, made it interesting enough, and based on the comic that it's inspired, I'm not gonna really try to compare the two, but it's a really good adaptation nonetheless. I'd say, yeah, I'm struggling between a 4 or a 3.5. I think a 4 out of 5 is fair, because just given everything that it did differently enough to have some good parts to it compared to the comic. I think it's just a good episode. I mean, this is just I can't really ask for more. I think if you really wanted to compare the two, I would probably prefer the comic, but otherwise, as the episode on its own, just as a Tales from the Crypt episode, it's a solid 4 out of 5. I would definitely say this one of the highlight of the season so far. I think
so too. I mean,
I mean, this one and Top Billing and The Trap, I mean, it's up there with so far with the season.
Yeah. Honestly.
4 out of 5. Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5.
Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah. So that's that. And EASEL Kill Ya, much better. Don't know. The ratings sometimes on IMDb are wild. So this is all I gotta say. The next episode I've never seen. I don't think I've seen parts. I've seen like seconds of the beginning and of the ending. I always end up falling asleep around this whenever I did see it, and I don't remember seeing it when I was a kid. So this is going to be interesting to see. We got some good ones coming up after that one, so I hope the next one is good. The next episode's good because I don't know, but
we'll see, because I don't remember much after episode 11, because it did start to go down a little bit this season. Even yeah. So that's all I'll say. I think the next one I do remember parts of it, and all I could say is I think it's definitely better than the vampire episode.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, we'll be. Yeah, I think you might get a kick out of it, and it had some elements of just those movies like The Goonies, almost in a way, but it turned into more a little bit more sinister.
Yes, that's.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's gonna be the next one. I think it's called Undertaking Pallor. Undertaking Pallor. That's the one that's we'll talk about on the next one.
Pallor, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think it's like, I don't know, Phantasm type deal, but with kids like the Frog Brothers from the Lost Boys or something. That's what the picture looks like. One of those kids, I think he was Corey Matthews, not Corey. Corey's brother, Eric Matthews. Eric Matthews' best friend for like a season.
One of his friends.
And then he just disappeared. They were like, fuck you. So then they brought Matthew Lawrence along to be the best friend. But anyway, so that's our review of episode 8 of season 3, EASEL Kill Ya. If you're on YouTube, remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here. Let us know what you thought about this episode down below. If you listen to this on the podcast, we will talk to you guys next time. Consider joining us over at Local so you can watch this before they actually post them. Sometimes they'll be a week before. They're random, but you will get these episodes earlier. And check out GhostCrusadersMerch.com. People on YouTube and Rumble and all video platforms can see The cool shirt. That's a cool
Hey,
one.
I got one coming in, so I should be able to rock it the next time we record.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. And you could check us out X at Creeps of Crypt, I believe. On X. Do you want to shout anything out?
Just Splinter47 on X/Twitter. You can follow me there.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever you want to share. I know you've been streaming leading up to this, streaming some games. So if anyone's interested in checking those out.
Yeah, whatever. You could, check out Ghost Crusaders TV or Ghost Crusaders Gaming on YouTube or Rumble or wherever. And yeah, that's that. Anyway, we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace.